Rashad, why you didn't
Anyways,
hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother. Trump lit.
What's up, Rashad?
Yeah.
What it do, boy?
Hey, Yachty was also being called a loser, which is ironic because on the stream, Max asked Yachty, "What do you think about the term that streamers are the new rappers?" Yachty immediately said no, and he said a lot of streamers are lame. And my first reaction was, that's very ironic and crazy. You calling streamers lame and somebody else lame when you were beefing on Instagram Live for 5 months with a woman, like for 5 months straight on Instagram Live, going back and forth with them. I thought that was kind of crazy. And you eventually yourself admitted that that was lame. On Shay Shay, you admitted it was lame. On Instagram Live at the end, when you responded to her for the last time, that was also, you called it lame. You said, "Oh yeah," and the way I moved was lame. I was lame when I did that because you did that on your birthday, bro. It was your birthday, and you were outside on Instagram Live yelling about how you dressed 6 people for 3 years, and you wrote her verse, and you made her career, and she wouldn't be anything without you. And how ungrateful is this girl? And you'll never be anything without me. And now it's on. You said all of these things to someone who was supposed to be your friend and your business partner, and then you did wrong business, put her in the 360 deal because that's who they throw you in first. Joe Budden called you out on it. You didn't know. You told him to chill, went viral, and then you did a diss song against Joe Budden. You did the ad libs and the verse with the Ice Trader Game song with Quavo, and then a few years later, you came back and said, "Dang, maybe Joe Budden was right." You never said it publicly, but you kind of said it in your actions. And then you started up a label yourself and you put people in the exact same deal that you were in at the beginning of your career. I don't know. It's crazy stuff, bro. So with that being said, later on, they did 6 songs, I think, or the goal was to do 6 songs, and they were there all night. I remember the last song, it was uploaded, I saw at 9 a.m. And then it was like an hour before that, right? And yeah, so when they had that right at the beginning of it, I said, "Dang, they were still uploading stuff at 9 a.m. Eastern." So I guess they got to the 6-song mark that they wanted to get to. And one of the 6 songs, Lil Yachty said, "Put my kneecap on her neck, put my knee up on her neck. I went George Floyd." First of all, the bar don't even make sense because the bar doesn't make sense. I put my knee up on her neck. I went George Floyd. Because George Floyd didn't put his knee on anybody's neck. The officer, Derek Chauvin, put his knee on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes, and I believe it was 53 seconds. The entire time, George Floyd is yelling, "I can't breathe." He's calling for his mama. His mother was deceased. It was very nasty behavior. Of course, conspiracy theories, including Mr. Ye himself, came out months later and said, "Oh, he was on drugs. He had fentanyl in his system." And that was something that they ran with. Now, George Floyd's face and selfie is being used to create AI images under any time someone talks about Black people. There's this weird obsession with them. It's crazy. They turned him to a meme. George Floyd isn't a meme. He was a man who was simply outside of a convenience store, tackled, placed with the knee on his neck for 9 minutes until he was no longer on this earth, taking a father of young children away from themselves. And it was a bad thing. It was a really bad thing. And so for him to use that, and Yachty knows, George Floyd sparked off the biggest movement, activist movement in the history of the world. The Black Lives Matter 2020 movement was the biggest activist protest in the world. That all sparked off with George Floyd Memorial Day weekend, 2020, at the peak of kind of like COVID. I don't know. You were there. We were all there. So it's just weird. It's weird. It's weird, to be honest. And it's sad that, Yachty from the Deep South would say and do something like this. That line was so distasteful. That's like using a Chopper and Kobe line. 100%. You get it. Nate, I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna put this in my notes. I might react. I'll just react to it tomorrow night or something like that. We made the winless Lions throw to only Calvin Johnson the entire season. Johnson the entire season. What else? What else I want to say? What else I want to say? I remember Childish Gambino had a line, but see, it was a different time. It was like 2013 or 2012. I think it was 2013. And he had a song called "Eat My Vegetables," and it was like a bonus song off of like Royalty era. It didn't make royalty. It didn't make the cut. It was just a song that was thrown out there. And in it, he says, "Man, I from my hood, Trayvon," and man, people was like, "That's disrespectful." It was controversial back then. Childish Gambino said a lot of crazy stuff. People still bring up some of the crazy stuff. Like in 3005, he said, "Gotta strip it like Gaza." Like that line went viral. Someone screenshot it and posted it like a month ago or whatever. Rap was just edgier back then. Like culture was edgier back then. Shock culture, it was just different. The thing was different. But Gambino went back immediately and was like, "No, that's not what I meant. It was meant to honor him and this and that." He performed the song, and whenever he performed the song in that era, he would like do like a kind of married thing, and then or he would just look up to the sky. He point up to the sky like, "Yo, I'm honoring him. Like, rest in peace, Trayvon Martin." And to use that as a punchline was kind of crazy, but you know, it was just a bar that didn't connect. This one don't even make sense though, because George Floyd didn't put his neck on a person. Like the person put their neck on. All right. I'm just saying the same thing. I'm saying the same thing. I'm so sorry. So someone said a lot of you should be ashamed that he has a career in hip hop. I do think this is a bit OD. A lot of people just don't like Lil Yachty because Lil Yachty's kind of like an unlikable person a lot of the time, to be honest. Like the way you hear the Caribou situation, and it's just a lot of unlikable things about Lil Yachty for people. But like to say like, yeah, shouldn't have a hip hop career. Yachty got some slappers, bro. I checked that out first before streaming. The Calvin Johnson joint, like for the sake of copyright. But yeah, hold on. But let me see this though. Because it continues. People just kept piling on Yachty. Is this Steven Jackson? Oh, hold on. I gotta reshare so y'all can hear it. He said, "Okay, all right, bet. I got you, Nate. The music just to be said. Oh, there's music in it. Oh, I feel it. Okay, Steven Jackson said something. Of course, Steven Jackson, his twin, quote unquote, was George Floyd, his boy. Oh, dang, I didn't even mean to do that. Hold on. Let me share the screen again. I'm tripping. I'm tweaking, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me sharpen up. Let me tighten up.
The way, man, trying to mind my business. Y'all see the type of big shit we got going on and shit we doing, man. I'm making changes in my life. I'm doing the right thing. I'm winning. I'm just trying not to pay attention to you idiots, man. But like, it's just hard, bro. Like, Lil Yachty, bro. You've been whack, my nigga. But you think you saying George Floyd name and trying to use his name in the bar that's gonna make people like your whack ass music, my nigga? That shit weak. Y'all the only era that feel like demeaning the dead and saying that shit is cool, my nigga. It ain't. And it's me and the whole third ward and the whole Houston, Texas riding behind G, man. Don't ever say his name, bro. None of y'all knew G. Nothing about him. But y'all want to say his name for clout. Put a knee up on his neck. I do joke. That's some weak ass shit, Yachty. But let somebody die in your family. We gonna do a whole skit about it. See how funny it is, bro. Cut that shit out, man. It's only you whack Sambo ass niggas that do shit like that. Stop the.
Dang, he went off. If someone got the rest of the video, the worst person just made a great point. Someone got the rest of the video? No, because this is crazy. He was going off on him. Hold on. I'm gonna look this up, see if I can find the rest of this video. Steven Jackson, another one. How can you say you're making changes, but social media says otherwise? Don't get me wrong. I feel what he's saying. Right person, right message, wrong person. I agree with it. Like Steven Jackson it's almost. I don't want to compare him to Nipsey. Rest in peace to Nipsey. But Nipsey was like a very weird case, right? Because like he was a gang member, but he was also like one of the more progressive like black people of his generation. And he did so much like hosting like scientific STEM things, events in Compton and South Central. Like, I don't know. It's very multifaceted and kind of like complicated to eulogize because he did so much good, but he was also part of like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I guess that's it because I just looked it up and all the clips are 50 seconds or 59 seconds. And the one that we just looked at was 59 seconds. So I guess, dang, someone called this too. Steven Jackson gonna check him. Yeah, he already knew what it was. You know I'm not lying. And then did it happen? I'm sure a video of him recording himself is incoming for sure. Steven Jackson called it weak and everything like that. Steven Jackson 100% white. Y'all white for keep bringing that man for clout. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Yachty, it's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Like, and you know it. You're black, bro. From the South, like, you know. So 19 Keys said this. The lyrical rapper has been killing it right now, and so many sassy mumblers are struggling for relevancy. Yikes. Shout out to 19 Keys. The music is trash. Yachty been lame. Let that man, George Floyd, rest in peace 100%. Nah, man, Yachty rapping, put a knee up on her neck. Man, I went George Floyd is super trash. Come on, gang. Yeah. They're making money, though. I remember him saying that about Master P. LOL, money was made. He said anybody can make money. Before they make money, they rob and steal. Why does that have to be for them to be the best? It isn't the black power and economic growth. Pusha T rapping about selling cocaine isn't necessarily the best message either. I'm just being the devil's advocate. The thing is, bro, like, y'all gotta listen to stuff, bro. Like, that Clips album was not about selling cocaine. I get his name is Pusha T, and his whole thing is like cocaine, coke raps. That was not what even the last album was about. They rapping about life. They rapping about flexing money. They rapping about having it. They rapping about getting fly. They rapping about this and that. They're not rapping about selling coke and wrap up the bags and send it to Coloco, send it to Columbus. That's not the album. So it's just like, listen to the music, bro. Anyways, next up.
Rashad, why you didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.